Yo, what's good? We have another reaction video for today. This one is called Give Me 21 Minutes and You'll Never Suffer Again by Karina Alexandra. Drop a like, subscribe if you're new. Let's get into this. Let's find out how to never ever suffer again. I hope it's some good sauce.
Everything I'm about to say to you has never been talked about on YouTube.
Real quick, that's a huge claim. You know what I'm saying? She might have some real secret sauce, bro. I ain't gonna cap. Never been talked about on YouTube? We gonna see. That's a big claim. I hope she got that sauce like that. No cap, I'm excited.
In this way before, and it is information that passes down in my family and I will now share with you.
She got them ancestral secrets, gang. I'm stop pausing.
If you are someone that is tired of feeling limited, if you're tired of living in fear, anxiety, or feeling hopeless, if you're just done with this reality that's been painted around you, this video will change your life. I'm going to scientifically explain to you why you are the way you are. Not only am I going to release any limiting beliefs or blocks and stuck trauma within your mind and body, this video is also going to help you navigate the world better. I cannot stress how important this information is for your success.
I feel you. Let's get to the video.
About to share with you can change your life. So your brain and your body has something called programs. Programs that are downloaded into your subconscious mind and even your body. So when you were a child, you depended on your parents, any authoritative figure, to develop your mindset, to teach you how to be in this world. You were generally taught what was good, what was bad. You were taught what pain was, things like love and heartbreak. So programs is pretty much the filter that you see the world in. Beliefs, patterns.
So far, I've heard this before and I've said similar things, but this is like a good video. I like how she's drawing it out and actually putting these words on it. So this is not me shitting on her. I think she's giving some valuable information, and this is fire so far. But I have kind of heard something like this before, but maybe she got some extra sauce to add to it. You know what I'm saying?
Habits you've developed along your journey of life, things you've learned from loved ones, from life experiences as a child to an adolescent and to an adult. Now I want you to think of your mind as a computer. And within this computer, we have these programs that have downloaded into our subconscious mind like software. So on this journey from a child to an adult, you've gone through things in life such as heartbreak. Maybe you got into your first relationship and you got cheated on. You have gone through experiences such as traumatic events. Maybe you got into a car accident. Maybe you fell and broke a bone. Maybe you have gone through some kind of trauma as a child, such as abuse, whether that's physical or mental abuse. These experiences have downloaded into your subconscious mind and have developed your way of life. There are now programs into this computer, into your subconscious mind. Other programs can include things such as if you were a child and you grew up in scarcity, if you were not given a lot of food, if you were neglected, then chances are you have gone through this journey of becoming an adult living in scarcity. So living in a constant state of survival mode, having to worry about when your next meal will be, or living paycheck to paycheck even. Coming from a childhood or experiences of scarcity, you most likely had the programs and limiting beliefs that you are not worthy of riches. Maybe getting rich is impossible, or maybe you don't even see yourself as possibly achieving any type of abundance. All of these experiences have downloaded into your subconscious mind and are now this filter of how you see life. So you develop these programs through life experiences and things you've been taught along the way from people or loved ones. All experiences that make up your belief system today. However, what if I told you that the habits and belief patterns that you have right now are not yours? You can also develop these programs through something called epigenetics. Meaning, not only can you develop these programs.
This where some new sauce coming from. I've still heard this before, but it's some new sauce. Let me say this real quick. I think what she's saying is very valid. I have heard these things before, and I've said similar things. I like how she's putting it though. You know what I'm saying? She's breaking it down real smooth, real good. I haven't always broke it down in that same smooth way because I be talking very fast. I be jumping all over the place. You know what I'm saying? But this is the sauce right here. The epigenetics part. People don't talk about this often. I've heard it, but it's not talked about often. So she got sauce, gang. She's saucy so far. I'm gonna drop a like after this video. I ain't gonna cap.
Through your life experience, you can also inherit them from your family. Epigenetics is basically the study of cell function and
That's the
how
sauce.
the environment or things external from you can trigger genes within you and turn them on or off. This is very critical information because if you have someone in your family, maybe your mother or your uncle or your grandfather has gone through traumatic experiences within their childhood and has not healed these programs, they have highly likely passed those traits down to you. The thoughts that you have in your mind and the feelings you feel about yourself every single day might not even be yours. A prime example of epigenetics is, have you ever met somebody that can just pick up an instrument and they're naturally good at it? Chances are that that person has someone down the line in their family that is musically talented or creative. However, it's extremely important for you to understand just how serious epigenetics can get. So there was a study done at Emory University where they had a group of rats, and what they did is they took a male rat and they made the rat smell the cherry blossom. And immediately once the rat smelt it, they shocked it with electricity, conditioning the rat to feel fear when it smells.
Now their kids are gonna get fearful when they smell cherry blossoms. Their kids, I could guarantee this what she's gonna say. When the mouses get born, like the kids of those first mice, when they get born, they're gonna naturally be scared of the smell. You know what I'm saying? Watch.
The flower. They repeated this process a few times and then placed the male rat back into the cage of rats. Later on, this male rat impregnated one of the female rats. And when the offspring of the rats were given the scent of the cherry blossom, the baby rats were extremely sensitive and traumatic to the smell. This experiment shows that the trauma that the male rat experienced passed down to the offspring, and the baby rats inherited that trauma. Now you might be thinking, well, those are rats. I'm going to paint the picture so clear for you guys. There is this worldwide limiting belief that African American people fear water, that they cannot swim. Now, why is that? The reason is because if you go,
We got thrown off them slave ships. We know that. Facts. Nah, yeah. She's spitting though. She's spitting.
Go back to the time of slavery when human beings owned other human beings. Slave owners trained their slaves to be afraid of water. They physically, mentally, and verbally abused their slaves to program them to fear the water, to fear the ocean around them. Now, the slaves' objective was to make sure that these slaves did not escape their slavery. But that programming conditioned these African American slaves to truly believe that the water would kill them. This programming was also done with dogs. Dogs were used to hunt slaves, to gather them, to abuse them. And when the time finally came for slaves to escape their slavery, they were forced to cross this water, the water that they were born to fear. And that experience was so traumatic for them that it is passed down from generation to generation, and that is why it still exists today. These programs are existing in our subconscious.
Now, for me personally, I don't really fear water. I love water. I could swim. You know what I'm saying? There's various reasons for that, but let's not get into that. I just wanted to say that real quick. As a black man, I could swim and I love water. But there's reasons why for that. I know people who hate the water, and you know what I'm saying? But okay, back to the video. My bad, I'm talking too much.
Conscious minds, and they're affecting our everyday decisions. Any decisions we make is being filtered through that lens that we've developed through our childhood, through our beliefs, limiting beliefs and traumas that we've inherited. Programs can even awaken later on in life if they're triggered from external experiences. There are plenty examples of children that have siblings and one of them have inherited a trait from their parent maybe their father or mother was an alcoholic, and the alcoholic gene passed down to one of the children and not the other. That child wasn't born and immediately an addict, but the gene resided within that child and then gets awakened by something that goes on externally within their life. Something triggers the gene to activate. Just like when people develop epilepsy later in
I want to say that this is not only for bad things; it could be for good things too. You know what I'm saying? If you had a family full of like people who practice like any kind of like magic or any spiritual practices, you will be more inclined to practice that. So like if I have some babies, they're gonna be lit. Cause my girl, she be on that spiritual stuff, you know. I be on that spiritual stuff. When we have a baby, that motherfucker might be flying by age 2.
life. I personally come from a family where each generation has experienced sexual abuse throughout their
Ouch.
childhood or at some
That's
point within
tough.
their life.
That's tough.
Obviously, abuse cannot be predicted, but the traits of a victim can pass down. If we go back to explaining these programs as filters, every human being is wearing their own customized pair of glasses. But why this is so critical is because if you've gone through something like heartbreak, and then you start to see a pattern in your relationships of constantly getting cheated on. If you don't deal with these programs turn into behaviors, and these behaviors form into personality traits. These programs block our blessings. It's like walking through life with a box over your head. You're almost putting a cap limit on your success because these filters can affect everything you do in life. Decisions, the people that we make as friends, who we get in relationships with, how we spend our money. So my job background is in the healthcare industry. And there was a time where I had a male patient that was in his 60s and he was extremely emotional. And every day that I spent
I just want to say real quick, when it comes to the heartbreak repeating cycles, I have ended that cycle, luckily,
time with this
because I had a horrible. I ain't gonna say I had a, you know what I'm saying, relationship that didn't go the best, you know what I'm saying, but Nick, best believe I did the work to not create that bullshit again, and now I'm in a very happy situation. So shit is lit.
patient, he would constantly remind me of a story that happened to him 6 months before he had admitted into that hospital. And every day that I saw him, he would take me back to a specific fight that happened between him and his roommate, constantly expressing of how much he hated that roommate, enough to talk about it every single day as if he had completely forgotten that he told me the day before. That fight scarred him so much so that he took it on as a personality trait. This fight that happened months prior to me meeting him rewired his brain to keep him living in the past. He developed a new lens for the world, and every person that he met, including me at the time, thought that everyone was out to get him. I'm not gonna lie, this has happened to me too. I've been in a previous relationship where I was extremely manipulated and cheated on. The relationship
Sorry that happened to you, boo. It's a good guy out there for you.
traumatized me so much so that
That was a bar.
it made me start to have panic attacks, something that I had never experienced before. It even caused me to develop programs that I unfortunately took into my current relationship.
Oh, so you do got a nice guy. Hey, I'm happy for you, gang.
I'm sure some of you watching this have experienced what it's like to be deceived, and you know what it's like to constantly live in a state of fear. That relationship caused me to develop behaviors of insecurity and not wanting to allow my partner the freedom of being a human being. That behavior wasn't fair to him or myself, because I had gone through an experience that put a cap limit on my success, on my mental health, and my own abundance. If I did not do the inner work that I'm going to share with you guys today, I would have most likely continued my way of life to think men ain't sh-. I know that's a very common phrase that a lot of women like to throw out.
Nah, that's not the phrase. The phrase is niggas ain't shit. It's niggas ain't shit. They don't just be saying men ain't. No, they be saying niggas ain't shit. Let's clarify that. Let me stop.
There. Therefore, putting a cap limit on myself from my dream relationship, from experiencing true love. To find success, we have to uninstall these programs. So how do we do that? First, I need to explain why it's so hard to let go of emotions, to let go of these beliefs. So there's a 3-step process, and most of us get stuck in step 1. Step 1 is thinking. Step 2 is doing. And
Being?
step 3 is being.
How did I know, nigga? Come on now. You saw me guessing before the shit popped up, right, nigga? Being. I knew it.
Knowing what you need to do in your head, practicing it with your hands, and knowing it by heart. Every day we're thinking new thoughts of how to change our lives or how to create new habits or do something different. But 9 times out of 10, we don't actually take action, therefore not creating a new outcome. God, I'm sorry for the glare, you guys. So the language of the mind are thoughts, and the language of the body are emotions. What happens here is that our minds get stuck in our bodies. Our emotions will take over because they're more powerful than our thoughts. So when we get triggered, 9 times
That is true in a sense, because that could be, you could say that in very, okay, on a basic level, you could say yes, because your emotions have more of an influence on your body. But your thoughts could be more powerful than emotion, because oftentimes emotions are actually made from your thoughts that you just ingrained and then made it into a feeling. But that is true. I just thoughts, my fault. Emotions have more influence on the body than your thoughts. So if that's what you're defining as more powerful, okay, then yeah. But depending on what level of existence you operate from, thoughts could become stronger than emotion. But most of the time, your emotions have more influence on your body, therefore they could be seen as stronger.
times out of 10, we will be emotional rather than thinking logically. If your ultimate desire is to feel successful, no matter what it is you're trying to pursue, if you want to feel love, you want to feel happy, instead of survival mode or scarcity, you want to live in abundance. First, we have to break those thoughts, those automatic assumptions, those negative thoughts you jump to from these experiences, to then create new ones. And then teach your body emotionally to understand what it is your mind intellectually understands. If you're one of my subscribers, then you know just how important your thoughts are, because your thoughts create a reality. In fact, everything around you right now in the room you're standing in was all created from a thought. And if you've developed a lens that tells you that life is hard, then you will receive what you believe. Science tells us that we have about 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. And
That's a lot of goddamn thoughts. I ain't gonna lie.
90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts that we had yesterday.
I've heard that before.
So if you're thinking the same thoughts and you believe that your thoughts have something to do with your life, then your life will stay the same. Okay, I need to clean off this whiteboard because it's getting a little full. We're not going to talk about the brain. So if 90% of your thoughts are the same ones you had yesterday, then the same thoughts lead to the same choices. The same choices lead to the same behaviors. The same behaviors lead to the same experiences. And the same experiences will produce the same feelings and emotions. Those very same emotions will drive the same thoughts you had yesterday and the day before.
Now this is true, but I would have put thoughts lead to feelings that lead to choices that lead to behaviors to experience. Like you could say that, but like technically your thoughts, when you have certain thoughts, you get an emotional impulse, right? And then that impulse is what makes you actually make a choice. Once you make that choice, you do the behavior, then you have experiences. Now you could kind of put it out of order because after your experiences, you can have different emotions about your experience, and those emotions can influence your thoughts. But I wanted to put it like this. Like I feel what she's saying, and I ain't saying that she's wrong. This is actually a really good video, by the way. This is a really good video. I fuck with it. I'm gonna give her a like. She's fire. She's spitting. But I don't know about that. Well, I guess I don't know. Like I feel what you're saying, but I would have put it like, nigga, you have certain thoughts which lead you to constantly feel certain emotions and have certain impulses. And based upon those emotions, you choose to do certain things which lead to the actual action that give you an experience of life, which can end up giving you new feelings and emotions and new thoughts that lead to, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, I feel what she's saying, but I probably would have put it a bit differently, but these things don't have to be in a certain order. You know what I'm saying? It's just that the main order that I would say is thoughts, emotions, and actions. Thoughts, emotion, choice, action, experience. You know what I'm saying? But those can be out of order, and one can influence the other out of the order that I just gave. So I'm not saying this is wrong. I just would have put it a bit differently, but this is not my video. It's hers, and she's spitting.
And the date before. Now get this. How you think, how you act, and how you feel is your personality.
That is true. Your personality, a personality is your way of expressing yourself. You express yourself through your thoughts, emotions, and actions. So she's right about that. She's spitting.
Your personality creates your personal reality.
I like the wordplay. I've heard that before, but I like it. I like how she used it inside the video. I've heard it before, but I like how she said it.
If you want to change your personal reality, you have to change your personality.
It is true.
Which means you have to start.
I mean, literally, it's like it's not even a woo-woo. So this is just simple basics, right? Now, this is for y'all to understand, right? I'm not trying to talk to her. I'm talking to y'all, right? If you express yourself in a certain way, you're going to do certain things that create certain experiences with the side of your life. So your reality is not going to change if you're if you're acting like a dickhead, you're going to have a dickhead reality. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of just common sense. You're going to do dickhead actions that have dickhead results and have a dickhead life. You know what I'm saying?
Start thinking about what you've been thinking about and change it. Now, I want you to look at these limiting beliefs, these thought patterns that are keeping you anchored to the past, and right here and now decide if they belong in your future. So, if how you think and how you feel creates your state of being, you have to become greater than your environment,
Facts.
Greater than your emotions,
Facts.
your body.
Facts.
Step number 1, to break these limiting beliefs, to change the filtering lens, is to become conscious.
That is, well, technically the breaking of it is not to become conscious, but I know what she means. To be actually aware of your thoughts is to be conscious of your thoughts. That is true. You know what I'm saying? Facts.
C-O-N-C. Become conscious.
Yo, I don't blame her, bro. I be trying to spell conscious sometimes. Like, what the fuck? How you spell this bitch again? I be forgetting sometimes.
Become aware of the program.
Facts.
You have to separate yourself from the emotion, from
Facts.
the program, from
Facts.
the thought as
Facts.
it's happening. Separate yourself from it.
Facts.
And become the observer of the program.
Get into
So
it
an example
soul.
of this, have you
For those of y'all who don't know, your soul's the observer. Your soul's the individualized focal point of awareness is able to observe reality and observe itself in order to become conscious.
ever gotten drunk and your friends told you how you acted that night and you completely blacked out? You don't even remember how you behaved.
Now that I've never got blackout drunk, bro. My man's told me that he got blacked out the other, like, when he was like, he went on a cruise with his family and his girl, and he got so lit that he blacked out one night. Nigga, I've never got that drunk and blacked out. That's crazy to me, bro. Like, I would hate to wake up and not know what the fuck happened, because I already hate that when it comes to, like, I had a dream and I forgot it, or I'm in the astral and I forgot it. You know what I'm saying? I would hate to do something in the physical and then forget that shit because I was too drunk. Nigga, that shit is crazy to me.
And then the next day you find out everything that happened, and that has you thinking like, whoa, maybe I should chill out. And the next time you guys go out, you don't drink as much. You've learned your lesson. So you observed your behavior from that lesson and modified it. Step 2 is to modify your behavior, your actions, to be better. You have to consciously make different.
You see, I don't know if I would have said it like that. I would have probably said, observe the thoughts, become aware of them, and then start to change your emotions. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have did behavior than emotion, because how you gonna like if you change your thoughts, your emotions naturally begin to change. But if you go straight from thoughts to behaviors, it's hard to change your behaviors when you have emotional impulses that are going to overtake your body and make you act off things. Because she said earlier about how your emotions are more powerful than your thoughts, and what that means is the fact that your emotions usually have more influence over your actions than your thoughts. So if you only change your thoughts first and go straight to actions, I wouldn't have said it like that, because off of her logic, which is true in a sense, your emotions are more powerful than your thoughts. So if you still have these emotions, you could think all you want. The emotion will influence your behavior more. So how can you change the behavior without changing the emotions and the impulses that lead to that behavior? Now, like I said, I would have started off with thoughts, but then emotions, then behaviors. You know what I'm saying?
Different choices now that you've developed new thoughts. You have to change.
Right, you have new thoughts, but you still feel the same stuff. So those feelings overtake those thoughts if your feelings are more powerful than your thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
You have to create a new outcome. And step number 3, the hardest step, is to repeat. The hardest part is to not make the same choice you made in the past.
That actually is true, but it gets easier. The more that you do, even if you just do it one time, it builds the habit. You got to keep on doing that shit. And it can't be hard. Niggas will go like a week of working out that don't work out for like fucking a whole month. It's like, damn, nigga, like what the fuck? But yeah, you gotta first change your thoughts. She should have added emotions, then actions, in my opinion.
You're going to be tested by your emotions and the chemicals in your body. And your mind will slip back to those old thoughts and say, this doesn't feel right.
So if she just said that your emotions will make you like want to do certain shit and make you fall back into those old thoughts. So if that's the case, why will we not work on our emotions? Maybe she just wanted to like do like the number 3 for like 3 simple steps, you know what I'm saying? But I'm curious about that, like, cause she's aware of how your emotions and literally the chemicals in your body will make you slip back into old thoughts. So if that's the case, why wouldn't you work on your emotions after working on your thoughts? You know what I'm trying to say?
What are you doing? You could start again on Monday. Or this is too hard, you can't do this. Your mind is gonna try to trick you back into those old thoughts that are gonna lead to the same behaviors, experiences, and repeat the cycle. Get ready, because this process is going to be uncomfortable. Stepping into the unknown and making new choices. And why it's so hard for people to change is because we would rather choose to stay stuck. We would rather choose to suffer because we can predict the outcome. We think that pain feels good when it actually feels familiar. The game is to teach your body emotionally what the future feels like ahead of time before the actual event has happened. The truth is that your brain doesn't know the difference between the past, present, and future. That's why if you've ever thought about something that happened in the past, something that was emotional or made you upset, and you start to feel emotions surface, your body starts to feel heated, you feel your blood boiling, you start to relive it because your mind doesn't understand that that happened last year. It starts to feel like it's happening right now. The more that you can visualize your future and stay out of the past, you will rewire your brain to new thought.
That's actually very important. And I'm about to say something real quick, because when it comes to our um spiritual constitution, when it just comes to how we're built, right? You have a mental body, you have an astral body, and an emotional body, right? But your astral body is your imagination. So when it comes to your imagination is kind of joined from your thoughts and emotions. When you have a certain image of who you are and what you can become, it's going to actually affect your emotions also. So if you want to really put it, it would be thoughts, self-image, and then emotions, then behavior. That's how we're actually built. You know what I'm saying? With imagination being in between the thoughts and the emotions. And imagination is kind of built from both. It's like when you have an idea, you can visualize that idea. But your emotions have influence in the sense of you may have an idea, but if you don't feel like you could do it, it's going to be harder to see it inside your imagination. But the more you could see it, the more it's going to transform your emotions also, which will also transform your actions. So I like how she put the whole entire visualizing your future because that actually is very important. Having an actual image of yourself in your future has a huge impact on your thoughts and emotions, and it could lead to better actions.
Your body will begin to produce new chemicals and new
Facts.
circuits.
Like, let me say this: like when you visualize certain things, because you're able to visualize it, you'll naturally kind of feel the emotions inside the visualization, and that's how it changes your emotions. If you see yourself, like let's say that you feel like you're not confident, but you imagine yourself being confident. While doing that, granted, your emotions can take over, and then you can't visualize the confidence. But if you can visualize the confidence, you get to start to feel confident off of that simple image inside of your head. You see what I'm saying? And that's you fantasizing inside your imagination, which isn't always bad. You know what I'm saying? Because fantasizing can be bad if you're trying to like fantasize and say, I received some spiritual information because I fantasized about it. Like, no, nigga, you're just fantasizing. You know what I'm saying? But fantasizing is good when trying to program your mind a certain kind of way. Facts.
You will rewire your nervous system, leading to new choices, to new behaviors, new experiences, and to a new reality. When I fully understood this information, I freed myself from the suffering I felt from dealing with people that in all actuality are the way that they are because of the things that they've been through. It made life easier because now that I understand why people are the way that they are, I can communicate with them better. I've developed a passion for these people. I understand where these people are coming from.
Real quick, that's facts too. I was literally telling my girls the other night because I work with kids and she work with kids now also. Like we're not at the same job though, but anyway, she was wondering how to deal with certain kids, and I'm saying you can't just generalize a kid. Like for example, like she asked how you deal with a kid that wants attention. I'm like, well, it depends. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do they want attention? You know what I'm saying? What kind of attention do they want? You know what I'm saying? Like you got to actually be able to ask people questions to actually know what's going on inside them and then how to better help them. And because I studied life coaching and I'm certified in various different fields, I've gotten really good at this. Like when I talk to people, I know kind of what to ask to find out. Like sometimes I'll talk to a person and they can't comprehend what I'm saying, but I could also understand why they're not comprehending. I can ask certain questions that pretty much kind of take their mind a certain kind of way, or simply just give me certain information about who that person is and how to properly talk to them. So when you actually go inside of your, and this happens also because when you go inside yourself and question yourself and understand yourself, it becomes easier to understand other people and properly communicate with them and comprehend how they're expressing themselves and why they're doing it, how to ask certain questions to better understand them as well, and how to talk to them a certain kind of way where they understand you. So what she said is facts. I ain't gonna lie, she was spitting this video, gang.
I've created abundance and I've gained so much more love and prosperity, all because I released the cap limit I put on myself, the box I had over my head. I hope this video enlightened you to take a look at the programs you have. If you are on a mission to create success, if you are someone wanting to break generational curses or even create a legacy, you now understand just how important things like programs and epigenetics are. You will just make life easier for yourself. I would love for you to like or comment down below because your comments and your engagement will push this video out to the world, to the people that are suffering right now that need to hear this information. If I can just change one life, then I will have accomplished my intention.
I think we get the point. She's just wrapping up the video right now, so I could stop recording. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I love you. Catch you on the next one. Peace to freak out.